Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join real estate entrepreneur and mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome to the Construction Life Braindump. We don't even know. We don't even know.
What is this?
Where are we? What podcast is this? We don't even know. Guys, here's the deal. Me and Anthony have had an amazing 50 plus episodes of Braindump, and what we decided to do was kind of fold Braindump as episodes within Construct Your Life. So for anybody that hasn't listened to the Braindump episodes, I don't like you anymore, and I'm really upset. So that's a whole nother thing. But you can redeem yourself by going to binge the 50 episodes that we do. And so we're gonna bring Anthony and I's kind of outlook on stuff and kind of the psychology of success. We're gonna bring that up into Construct Your Life, 1 to 2 times a month, depending on how I could track this guy down because he's so busy these days. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the route we're going. So if anybody doesn't know, this is Mr. Anthony. We just call him the encyclopedia. So but that's kind of the game, right there, Mr. Vicino.
I think you have succinctly encapsulated the situation. I don't know, for people that don't know, like if you haven't listened to Braindump, you don't know what that is. Heads up, it's psychology of success, where we break down like, what does that word mean, success? First of all, how do we define that? Because it's different for everybody. And then let's have some meaningful conversations we've had some badass conversations with some really incredible guests, and they're not interviews, it's conversations. Mm-hmm. And the whole goal here is just to like have a really cool conversation with really cool people. And so we'll bring on guests, and we won't even tell them what the episode's about, and because we don't know. Usually we start recording and we turn to them and we say, okay, what do you want to talk about? Like what concept is on the top of your mind? So we fly a little bit loose, but we've gotten into some really good conversations.
Well, what's interesting about people, I think people love to label context, and that's why I love the way that we go and we don't know the topic and kind of let them go, because I decided something the other day and I haven't done it yet, and I'm mad at myself for not doing it. I think that the new way to interview, or like you said, conversate, is to say like, what's on your mind these days? What is making you excited? Like what an amazing conversation to see where people are, because in different seasons of our lives, we could change what we're focused on. And you and I read a lot and get on a lot of topics. And there's this topic I'm on right now that I'm pretty much convinced that I found one of the bigger reasons why people don't take action when it comes to investing. I'm just using real estate investing as a vehicle to frame the conversation.
Okay.
It's not that they don't know. It's not that they haven't listened to the podcast. It's not that they haven't networked. It's not that they haven't done all the things necessary and read all the books.
Then what is it, Austin?
What they're lacking is the feeling.
Okay. The feeling
that is holding them back. What I mean by that is the feeling of seeing the deal go through to the end and feeling that large amount of money go out of their bank, feeling that, is it a deal? Is it not a deal? Kind of that it's not the knowledge. They have the knowledge. It's by not having gone through that, right? You bought apartments and now you're like, it's just another building. We raise the money, we do the thing. But like, think back to when, because I know me, I was a basket case. When you bought your first property, it was getting it across the finish line. That gap, what I call, jumping the Grand Canyon. That's what people are lacking, is that feeling.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to that, right? Like it's the fear of the unknown, and like, oh my God, I know logically everything that goes into this, but the emotional side of it, and still there's the doubts, the belief that maybe it won't go how you think it will, that it's going to be harder, more work, that it's going to be horrible. It's funny because Jen and Ganga, who we've worked together with in the past, they're some badass investor ladies, and they also do some other performance coaching stuff. we did this 8-week sophisticated investor challenge where we brought in a bunch of people that are interested in learning how to passively invest in real estate. And we did an 8-week course where we just broke it down. Okay, step by step by step by step. By the end, you know everything that you need to know to go and take action. But then in talking to people, it's still like, it's interesting. They still don't feel ready. I'm sitting there, I'm like, guys, you have all the information. Literally, you know how to apply it now. So, but people are still afraid to go out and do it on their own. So what we did is like, we're going to launch something called the Guppy Club. Have I told you this? Actually, you're gonna love this, dude. You're gonna love this.
I'm hearing it for the first time. So this is
dude, you're gonna love this. So you know how there's the Shark Tank where people go and they pitch their ideas and it's big and scary, right? Like, but the problem is for most passive investors, like they just feel like a guppy in a sea of sharks, right? They're overwhelmed and it's scary, right? They get all these deals and they're like, how do I look at them? So we're like, okay, let's try and actually hold people's hands, and we will bring deals in and we'll look at them together, and you guys can ask questions about this deal that you're looking at investing in and get the group's opinion, you know, and trying to like just remove more and more layers of excuses, right? Because maybe now if it's like, okay, you have 10 of your cohorts and your peers looking at this deal and they're like, hey, this deal looks pretty good, you should do this deal. Like maybe that will finally give you the emotional support you need to go and do it.
Yeah, but also what you're doing is what I suggested in my post last night. You're borrowing the belief of the other people in the room long enough for you to believe it in yourself to kind of like get you over that, which is a mentor, a fellow investor, 100%. A group of people. So that is kind of like my kryptonite that crushes all that feeling of kind of getting over that gap. Because everybody asks me all the time, they're like, dude, you just put in an offer yesterday on $1 million property in the Smokies, you haven't even seen it. I'm like, because I've done it so many times, the feeling is the same. Remodel, do the thing, put the Airbnb. Like I've been there, I've done that. And that's what this kind of like what you're mentioning in this group kind of it like allows them to do, which is so smart.
This is why I think masterminds are really powerful. And full disclosure, I'm not really even in a mastermind at the moment, but I don't have a mastermind. I can't sell you guys one. But talking with our buddy John Blanton, another guy that's a badass, he joined EO, Entrepreneurs Organization, a couple months ago, or like the onboarding version of it. I don't think he's fully, because he's building his business. I don't think he's fully at the level for whatever. But what he said is like, it's amazing. Like already in just like the month or two that he's been in it, it's been incredibly powerful because he's around like-minded individuals who he's realizing like, oh my God, everybody else, even the people I think who are so much further ahead of me, like they do not have this figured out any more than I do. And so like collectively, you can sit down and be like, okay, let's try and figure this out together. But there's just so much when it comes to investing, when it comes to entrepreneurship, building a business, or it comes to leaving a relationship that no longer serves you, or leaving a job that no longer serves you, the fear is that you're all alone and that you're going to be kicked out of a tribe. And we've talked about this on past episodes, that when the human gets kicked out of the tribe, the human dies. Humans don't do well outside of the tribe. So our number one fear, like deep down subconsciously, even if we're not like consciously acknowledging it, is this fear of being ostracized or excommunicado, like getting kicked out. And so willingly saying like, I'm going to leave this W-2, I'm going to leave this relationship. That's my tribe. Even if that tribe is toxic and no longer serving you, because the fear is I'm going to be out in the wilderness and where's my next tribe going to be? Right. So
I actually had a guy ask me this today on the podcast because he was starting a podcast I did for somebody else. I was talking about my weight loss and getting sober, and he was talking about how he's getting healthy now and he's building businesses, and like his old friends aren't doing those things, and he's finding it very difficult to be around them, but he doesn't want to be rude, and like it's a whole thing. Like it's a very poignant conversation.
Well, and this is one of the recurring themes of Braindump throughout the last 50 plus episodes, is that of identity, and how identity is a very fluid concept. And yet we tend to think of ourselves as being static and be like, that's who I am. I am Austin, I am Anthony, and not all the myriad shades of gray that we are constantly fluctuating through as we go through this life. But the problem is, as we shift our identities, that's already very difficult. If you're shifting from saying, I'm not an alcoholic, to saying now I'm, a healthy individual, a fully functioning member of society, like whatever that identity shift is, like I'm a millionaire. The difficulty is first getting over it yourself, but then two, the tribe, the identity that you've created within that tribe remains. And that tends to linger with our friends and our family. And that's why like that phrase, a prophet is never recognized in his hometown. right? Like that's why it's so poignant. It's like you have to leave for your genius to be appreciated or for your new identity to be appreciated. So whether you physically leave or you just emotionally detach from that tribe, like there tends to have to be this exiting of the identity and surrounding yourself of people that now embody this new identity, this new person that you want to be.
Done. You just got smoked, guys. That was amazing. So, guys, this is what we're doing here. We're going to bring you hard-hitting topics, bang it out. If this is the first time you're hearing me and Anthony together, expect a bunch more of this. And, head on over to the Braindump podcast. You can find it on iTunes to listen to the previous episodes so you can get caught up with us. See you next time.
Thank you for listening to Construct Your Life with Austin Linney. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and pay it forward by sharing with a friend. Most importantly, take this opportunity to start constructing your life by taking immediate action on what you learned. For show notes, resources, and more information on one-on-one coaching with Austin, visit constructyourlifepodcast.com.